All right, so shall we begin? These are the source verses of the stages and the path of illusion, a unique presentation out of a long time of being in Vajrayana. I've not read this, but maybe that's because I come from a Niguma tradition. Still, doesn't seem to be very prevalent online either. So to me, this is pretty cool. We get to see the five paths and the 11 bhumis, sometimes known as 10 bhumis or 13 bhumis. They have a Dujam Lingpa set of bhumis and Mahamudra bhumis. And it's up to you if you'd like to use them. To me, the word bhumi, meaning ground or basis, is it can be a tricky translation because there cannot be 10 grounds. There can always only be one ground. And so these are varying degrees of proximity to your natural state, to the ground. The ground or the basis is known as your equilibrium, your natural state. And when all of our patterning and conditioning and habituations essentially peel away within Rigpa, within this open awareness, then what's left over is your natural state, pure presence. And we just went over the four foundations of mindfulness in this text. So all four of those are then encompassed within space-like openness of your mind. So that cognizance, that noetic quality, it permeates everything, every object, all your thoughts, all your emotions. You have this part of your mind here. And that's what gets pointed to these teachings. So remember, this is considered Mahayana context, but I really think Niguma is switching it up and mixing it up. So it's definitely Vajrayana as well, and then Dzogchen Mahamudra is everywhere in these verses. So right now in the path of accumulation, it's still provisional stuff. It's like what we need to do to get to Dzogchen, right? So 21, stanza 21 says, suffering is caused by non-virtues, since those who desire freedom from it regard all non-virtue as though it were poison. There are four genuine renunciations. In order not to generate vice and unvirtuous factors that have not arisen, arouse determination, effort, and attention to fully engage in what is genuine. In order to renounce vice and unvirtuous factors that have arisen, arouse determination, effort, and so forth. Understand it the same as above. In order to generate virtuous attributes that have not arisen, energetically arouse determination, effort, and so forth, as above. In order that virtuous attributes that have arisen may remain and increase without any diminishing, and not be lost or wasted, arouse determination, and so forth, as above. As for arousing determination, not to generate vice and unvirtuous factors that have not arisen, the proper mental engagement is to practice with whatever appears as illusion. Thus, unvirtuous factors will not occur. Furthermore, vice and unvirtuous factors are whatever is incongruous. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what incongruous means. Maybe incongruent would make more sense. I mean, to me, I'm sure it's a word. So, I'll look it up real quick. If I don't know a word, that means somebody else might not know a word. So let's see how close I got.
Incongruous.
Oh, incongruous, way off. Not in harmony. Oh, like congregation, maybe. Okay. Not in harmony or keeping with the surroundings or other aspects of something. So incongruous.
Incongruous.
Incongruous. So probably not in congregation, my best guess. All right, so no, coherence different. This is a congregation, like in harmony with the surroundings, right? So, furthermore, vice and unvirtuous factors are whatever is incongruous with ethical discipline, meditative absorption, and wisdom. The mental engagement is that in order to renounce those non virtues, determination and so forth must be developed. That is the idea of the first genuine renunciation. So, to me, a lot of times this comes naturally. You're just sick of non virtue. You're sick of living a thirsty, desirous life. And you're sick of being angry and feeling bad about what you said or what you did. I don't know how much choice we have in that. It almost comes to a boiling point. So 28 says, furthermore, the unvirtuous factors are desirous attachment, angry aggression, and unaware dullness. So the three poisons there, right? The mental engagement is contemplation on foulness, pacifying desire, love, pacifying aggression, and contemplation of interdependence, pacifying ignorance. Knowing that they are without intrinsic nature pacifies all afflictive emotion. That is the idea of the second genuine renunciation. So those are pretty well known in Theravada, for example, and many preliminary approaches where you may be very attracted to physical bodies, for example. And if you go up just a little bit, Yeshi, to the beginning of that stanza, it says, contemplating the foulness. You may begin to notice this naturally within your awareness when you see somebody that you, or a figure or something that you thought once was attractive, purely attractive. You don't see anything bad. It's like a fish seeing a shiny bait. Well, now you can see a lot more, than that pretty body or that pretty face, whatever it is. You know that they still have to go poop. And now it's getting so sick out there where even the foulness is turning people on. So who knows anymore? But that's the idea. It's a sutra approach, to contemplate, think about the fact that, oh God, yes, why? It's too far, man. This is a temple. Two girls in one temple. So yeah, the idea is that, let's just move on from that, please. That's way too far. Okay, so the idea is that you contemplate. These people can smell bad. These people can act so cruel. You'd be surprised. The most beautiful, externally looking people can be so cruel and selfish. Everybody can be. And, you never really know until you let it be revealed to you. So that's why attachment based on physical kind of desire, this initial impression, awareness practice allows you to see more dimensions. It gives you that multidimensional insight into their personality, into the whole picture, basically. you know, in the times we live in, people really do a lot to put on a fake image. They shave themselves and paint themselves and I mean, it's fine. It's everybody's right to do that. I understand. People want to be clean and smell good and all that stuff. Definitely. But it's something to consider when you meet somebody. Are you really seeing them? Yeah. So, and that goes for teachers too, by the way. To really get to know teachers, look past the robes and past the looks and if they have followers or not, and these kinds of things. So that's contemplation on foulness, essentially, just incorporating the other half of the spectrum there. Yeah, see, Yeshi, that's why we shouldn't bring it up right there. That's why that should not be brought up because there are people who do not know, and you're encouraging them to go search that out. So, contemplation on the interdependence. And don't get so love. Yeah, love is a great one for aggression. You'd be surprised how quick we can get into anger. I mean, we will buy our cat a $50 bag of dog food, cat food. My cat eats the dog food too. But we will buy the cat $50 bag of cat food. But then when some person is freezing out in the cold asking for money, we'll not give them anything. you know? Um, really, our love is so skewed sometimes. And when we get mad too, we get to the point where we act against our own heart. So when we're mad at somebody, we forget that we don't even want to hurt this person. We don't want to hurt anybody. But our mind, our thinking mind, is telling us we want to hurt somebody. Isn't that interesting? So it it really does happen. Please pay attention to this. It's a dynamic of your mind. You get hateful towards people, even though you're in your own heart. You do not want to be hateful towards them. You do not want to hurt them, or anything like that. So that's when you contemplate love. You contemplate your natural compassion. Try to remember how you feel about all beings when you're at peace, not when you're starving. Like, that's a big reason why we have so much crime. People are starving. They want food, they want decent shoes and socks. And when you get to that point where you're hungry, it's hard to be nice to people. It's very, very hard to be nice to people. And that's why retreats, they end up challenging you in the deepest ways. So, contemplating compassion to pacify aggression is useful in the preliminary stages. And then, of course, contemplating emptiness or the interdependent cause and effect to understand. Here it says stupidity. It's not my favorite word. It doesn't land right with a lot of people. But ignorance, to your confusion about situations, when you understand that as soon as I do this, or as soon as I say this, that's going to happen. you know, uh, it's great when you're addicted to things like cigarettes or alcohol or drugs, because then you start to see that extra dimension. There's an extra few layers there that you get to see then to pacify your ignorance. And stupidity is really the wrong word there. You're ignoring those extra layers. You're ignoring that if you take that drink, that you're going to feel drowsy and sleepy in an hour, so you don't see all the picture. All right. So, knowing that they are without intrinsic nature, which means empty, it pacifies afflictive emotions. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. I know I stuck on that part for a little while. It's because those contemplations could be very useful for people. So, 29, in order to generate virtuous factors that have not arisen, the determination to accomplish Buddhahood by developing determination and effort is the root of all roots of virtue. The practice of mental attention is the supreme virtue. That is the idea of the third genuine renunciation. Wow, so just to have that aspiration that I'm going to be completely free and to stick with that, uh, that's very powerful. It says that's the root of all roots of virtue. I did not know that. Um, some of you know about the Rinpoche story I told where he asked me if I wanted to be a Buddha. I guess that's why he knew that that was the root of it all. Very interesting. So 30 says, in order that virtuous factors that have arisen not diminish or be wasted. Arouse determination, effort, mental attention, and engage the genuine. And engage the genuine. All right. We're just engaging the genuine around here. But what is mental attention? To me, that's sounding like jhana, like samadhi, like being able to stay with whatever you want and whoever you want in the presence. And there's also a strong wisdom of discernment that comes in there because you start to discern what you give your energy to and what you don't. So, for a lot of you awareness holders, well, there aren't like tons of you. I feel like there will be more of you. But those of you who are actually settling into the Dzogchen stuff, you may find yourself pulling out of phenomenon, like sense world things. Like maybe the computer is acting silly. And for a moment, you see yourself getting upset about it. You see yourself arousing a story, even that, man, this thing always breaks. And man, my life is messed up because I don't have this computer working. And these little stories engage just from that moment of your computer not working. And so, awareness holders, you'll be able to start seeing, wow, I was about to let that infest my head for a couple hours, maybe the whole day. And this in the morning, everybody, you can check for this. In the morning, when you wake up, your mind is very clear still, usually. And so, you can tell when a narration enters your head. It's like you open up a program for the day. I'm going to be in a shitty mood today. you know? And you have this kind of thought of disappointment or something just to initiate it. So as awareness holders, you will see that first thought try to creep in. Like, oh, uh, why do my toes feel like popsicles? I don't know. you know, some thought that makes you feel unsatisfied, basically. And so these very, very nuanced little sneaky ways that the conditioned mind tries to befriend us in the morning or in situations where we get upset. Our partner does something that we always get upset about, things like that. You can catch it and you can say, oh, here's my old friend again, the same old thought that drags me down. Actually, hello, but you can go on now. Money pemahong, you don't have to be mean to the thought. This thought is coming to ask you if you want to play. And you just say, no, thank you. But I love you. Have a beautiful day. It's kind of a kindness to it. Yeah, you had that thought. It's okay. Because it's very important not to judge yourself for the thoughts you're having. All right. So, the practice of illusion regarding the roots of virtue is that by dedicating them to attaining omniscience rather than remaining in the three realms, ultimately they will never be wasted. That is the idea of the fourth genuine renunciation. Those who desire to cross the ocean of suffering of cyclic existence and arrive at the ground that transcends misery need the four absorptions of miraculous activity. All right, so I imagine we're going through the four absorptions next then. Yeah, we can stop here. That's fine. Sometimes these source verses inspire a lot of discussion, sometimes they don't. So I think, well, let's see what we got. Oh, I like that how you can bookmark it now. That's very nice. Yeah, we can stop there. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Whoever's hanging in there, I know that the Niguma text exploration has been a lot of information, a lot of stuff there to study and dive into. Let it complement your practice. So we really appreciate those who are making it possible by offering presence and interactions. Thank you. Thank you.